Hi there, I'm meteorologist and science teacher Ryan Miller. I've got your Science for Everyone segment. Let's talk about batteries, how they work and how they use chemistry to produce an electric current that allows things like our phones and our flashlights and our smoke detectors to work. It starts with the three main parts: the anode on the outside, that's the negative part, the cathode that is in the middle producing the positive side, and then an electrolyte that separates the both of those two objects. The electrolyte can be made up of different substances. That's why we have different batteries. That's why batteries cost different amounts of money. The electrolyte that is in the middle wants to react with the anode to help produce electrons. That's what flows and produces electricity. Well, this wants to happen. There's a lot of potential, but until you connect something to the bottom of your battery to allow the electrons to start leaving the battery, you're not going to get that reaction occurring very quickly. But once it's connected, the reaction takes place. Electrons start flowing up and from the bottom of the battery up to whatever you're trying to power, and then travel from that device into the cathode where the electrons collect. You never want to connect the direct bottom of your battery to the top. That could cause an issue with your battery. It could short circuit and malfunction, even cause a fire with different types of batteries. So you connect things like a light. And so the electrons flow from the bottom to the light. They allow the light to illuminate and then keep flowing from the light into that cathode where they collect. Different batteries, well, you can recharge some of them, and some of them run out of the substances, the chemicals to react. And that's why a battery ends up dying. We can create a battery very simply. I've got some salt water, that's my electrolyte. I've got a piece of copper right here, that is my cathode, the positive side, the middle of your battery, and my anode, which is going to be this little piece of aluminum. The electrons are flowing from a chemical reaction inside of this glass of water from one end to the other, and as they pass through, they're starting to produce an electric voltage. We can see 0.34 volts showing up, a little over a third of a volt of electricity from that chemical reaction. If you end up disconnecting your battery, you end up losing your voltage. So a simple way to make a battery is just to use some salt water, that salt being the electrolyte, use an anode and a cathode, and you can get that reaction occurring just like it happens in a battery, but on a much smaller and safer scale. I'm meteorologist and science teacher Ryan Miller.